Well, new reaction today to a historic vote, holding the Attorney General of the United States in contempt of Congress. Reaction, that is, from the family of the man who has become the public face of the botched gun running program known as Operation Fast and Furious. U.S. Border Patrol agent Brian Terry was murdered by members of a Mexican drug cartel here in America, who were armed with guns believed to have been tied to that government operation through which guns were placed in the hands of some very bad people down in Mexico. Agent Terry's mother says she was shocked after more than 100 House Democrats walked out to protest the contempt vote against Eric Holder for withholding documents that have been subpoenaed by Congress related to the operation. Perhaps adding insult to injury, House Minority Leader Pelosi then flubbed pronouncing Agent Terry's name in her remarks yesterday.
I think we all very, very much agree that we are very sad and seek justice for the family of Border Patrol agent Brian Terry.
Joining us now by phone is Bob Heyer. He's Brian Terry's cousin. He testified to Congress, and he is also the chairman of the Brian Terry Foundation. Sir, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it. You can flub somebody's name even if you know the name well. So I think the former speaker, gets some forgiveness on that. But she has been very vocal in condemning this contempt of Congress vote against the Attorney General, saying it is a political witch hunt, it is politically motivated, and is meant really to distract him from his effort to protect voters in various states. Your reaction, sir?
Well, Megyn, the family of Brian has suffered many indignities over the last 18 months since his death. You know, they have continued to seek answers behind this failed and flawed operation known as Operation Fast and Furious, and it just seems to be one roadblock after another. You know, yesterday's proceedings, we didn't take any pleasure from seeing that, but it didn't have to happen. You know, our only goal is to seek justice, to seek accountability, and to seek the truth, and that's all we're hoping for. How
did you feel when you saw those members of Congress get up and walk out as they were voting on the contempt resolution?
Well, it was insulting. I mean, there were Democrat members of Congress that remained in chambers and voted. I thought that was the honorable thing to do.
Do you feel that the contempt vote is a step too far? Some believe that this has now become political.
Well, there's no doubt it's become political. I mean, this has become a partisan issue, and it shouldn't be. That's part of the indignity, once again, to Brian's memory. You know, a lot of people are forgetting here. We've had a federal law enforcement officer murdered, and the whole purpose should be accountability and answers, and that's what's getting lost in all of this.
I want to play you a little bit of what the Attorney General said yesterday after the contempt vote and get your reaction.
Instead of trying to correct the problems that led to a series of flawed law enforcement operations, and instead of helping us find ways to better protect the brave law enforcement agents like Agent Brian Terry, who keep us safe, they have led us to this unnecessary and unwarranted outcome.
Mr. Holder has said all along that he has sympathy for your family, respect for what Brian Terry did in serving this country, but that there is a protocol when it comes to turning over documents from the DOJ that have been subpoenaed by Congress, and he is going to follow the same protocol he believes was put in place under the Bush administration and others.
Well, there's a lot of smart people in Washington trying to figure this out, and we have faith that it will be worked out. But in the meantime, we're not going to sit idle, Megyn. We've established the Brian Terry Foundation, and the mission is to honor Brian and to create a lasting legacy in his name.
Do you believe you were made a promise, the family was, both by Democrats and Republicans at the beginning of this investigation, that they would continue this and pursue this until they had the names of those responsible, no matter how high it went in the administration? Do you believe that that promise has been fulfilled?
Well, it hasn't been fulfilled because there is still material that needs to be produced. You know, the investigators from the House Over Committee need to see more, and the American people need to have the truth. And until those documents are turned over, you know, there are questions, and the Terry family has lots of questions. and we're not going to be satisfied until the truth comes out.
Brian Terry, your cousin, was out defending this country, protecting our border 18 miles in from the Mexican side on the night he was killed. There are still more questions than answers in connection with his death. We appreciate you taking the time, Bob, to be with us today.
Thanks, Megyn. And honorbrianterry.com is where your watchers can go to learn more about the foundation.
All the best to you, sir.
Thank you.